respect differences? Well, I'd say there's not really that much of a difference. Yes, I talked about honesty, but remember you need to tell the truth in love. And that can often mean being truthful, but also respectful. In truth, in fellowship, there often has to be a balance, a mixture between honesty on the one hand and courtesy on the other hand in our dealings with each other. How do we know what balance of courtesy and honesty to use? Well, the answer is really back in the first point, which is that the Holy Spirit will guide us. He is very much a key part of Christian fellowship. Next point is, fellowship needs humility. Humility is very much something that you can only get from the Holy Spirit, and is once again the foundation of Christian fellowship. The exact opposite of humility is pride. And whereas pride builds walls between people, humility builds bridges between people. 1 Peter 5, verse 5 says, "Young men, in the same way, be submissive to those who are older. All of you, clothe yourselves with humility towards one another, because God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." Notice from these that humility is the proper dress we should wear in fellowship. Also notice from this verse that if you rely on pride instead of humility, you are blocking God's grace, because in effect you're relying on sin. Humility allows you to grow with God and to grow together as a group. Philippians 2, verses 3 to 4 says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others." In other words, serve others in the fellowship. And of course, one of the strongest examples of that, serving others in the fellowship, is Jesus washing his disciples' feet. If the Son of God can humbly serve, so can we. Point 5 is fellowship may mean sacrifice. This is a step further on again from humility. It may be in looking to the interests of others, as is said in Philippians, that you have to sacrifice your own interests. It may be going out of your way to help a friend in a jam. Or, in extreme cases, it may be going as far as John 15, verse 13, which reads, "Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends." It's a sobering thought. It's a real challenge. But it's also a very Christ-like quality. Point 6 then, which is fellowship needs confidentiality. Only in the safe environment of warm acceptance and trusted confidentiality will people open up and share their deepest hurts, needs and mistakes. Confidentiality doesn't mean clamming up if somebody does something wrong. Remember honesty. What it does mean is that what is said in the group should stay in the group. In short, don't gossip, as this sin is extremely destructive to fellowship. Proverbs 16, verse 28 says, "A perverse man stirs up dissension, and a gossip separates close friends." Point 7 is, fellowship needs frequency. Regular contact is needed to build genuine fellowship. If you don't meet, rather than growing together, you quickly sort of drift apart. Hebrews 10, verse 25 says, "Let us not give up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but let's encourage one another, and all the more to recap all these points then. First off, fellowship needs God's power through the Holy Spirit and our own efforts. That is, we need to sort of make a move, we need to actually do things to build fellowship, but at the same time we've got God's Holy Spirit backing us up. Second point is fellowship needs honesty. You need to be able to sort of say the hard things from time to time when people are going wrong. Third point is fellowship needs courtesy. We need to be respectful towards each other, because after all, we're all family. Point 4 is fellowship needs humility. That is literally serving each other. Point 5, fellowship may mean sacrificing, putting the needs of others before ourselves, even if it costs ourselves. Point 6, fellowship needs confidentiality. In other words, do not gossip. And point 7, fellowship needs frequency. We need to meet on a regular basis. This list may seem daunting, but don't forget, God's Spirit will guide you in all this. And I can tell you from my own experience these last few years, real Christian fellowship is a genuine pleasure. There's just one final point I'd like to make, which comes from Acts 2, verses 44 to 7, which goes, all the believers were together and had everything in common. Selling their possessions and goods, they gave to everyone as he had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favour of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. You can see from these verses, which are about the fellowship of the early believers, that they exhibited many of the points I've been going through. And just look at their testimony. Everyone knew who they were and knew that they met regularly at Solomon's colonnade. The result? God added daily to their number those who were being saved. In other words, it became a powerful witness. In Christian fellowship, not only do you know who your mates are, so does everyone else. And perhaps that's the real point of fellowship. Well, thanks very much for your attention. I'm now going to ask Karen to come up. She's got one or two things to go through.